A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development from the ongoing conflict in the Gaza Strip, Hamas has recently handed over the remains of an additional captive, igniting calls for urgent humanitarian aid and the opening of border crossings. The Qassam Brigades, Hamas's armed wing, announced the transfer of the remains at 11 p.m. local time on Friday, without specifying the location from which the body was recovered. The group described the remains as belonging to an occupation prisoner, indicating that they are likely those of an Israeli national, rather than one of the captives from other nationalities taken by Hamas during the attack on October 7, 2023. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office confirmed the receipt of the coffin, which was handed over to the Red Cross in Gaza. The coffin is set to be transferred to Israel's National Center for Forensic Medicine for formal identification before the family is notified. The Israeli military has urged the public to act with sensitivity and await official identification, while also emphasizing that Hamas must adhere to the agreement to return all deceased hostages. Hamas has reiterated its commitment to the terms of the ceasefire deal mediated by the United States, which includes the return of the bodies of captives still unaccounted for under the rubble in Gaza. The group has stated that it has returned all bodies it managed to recover, but is facing difficulties in locating remaining captives trapped beneath the debris caused by Israeli airstrikes. According to reports, some remains are believed to be located in tunnels or buildings that were destroyed during the conflict, necessitating heavy machinery for retrieval. The situation on the ground remains dire, with Gaza's civil defense reporting that over 10,000 Palestinians are still trapped under rubble, while only 280 bodies have been retrieved so far. Hamas has called for increased humanitarian aid and the expedited opening of the Rafah border crossing with Egypt to facilitate reconstruction efforts. Despite the ceasefire agreement reached last week, Israel has yet to allow a significant flow of aid into Gaza and continues military operations in parts of the territory. Former Israeli ambassador Alon Leal commented on the emotional weight of the situation, noting that many Israelis feel that Hamas is not fulfilling its obligations under the ceasefire agreement. The return of bodies is creating pressure on the Israeli government, with public sentiment reflecting anger and frustration over the perceived delays. In a related development, U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning to Hamas, stating that he would permit Israel to resume military operations if the group does not comply with the agreement and return all hostages' bodies, which total 28. So far, Hamas has handed over the remains of 9 captives, along with a 10th body that Israel claims was not one of the captives. As efforts continue to locate and recover the remains of captives, Hamas has emphasized the need for assistance in the form of heavy machinery and teams on the ground. Reports indicate that Israel has not cooperated with countries willing to provide aid in the recovery efforts, further complicating the situation. The international community remains watchful as these developments unfold, with calls for urgent action to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and ensure the safe return of all captives. The situation remains fluid, and the coming days will be critical in determining the next steps for both Hamas and the Israeli government as they navigate this complex and tragic conflict. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.